Hello and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. Today we are going to be taking a look at how your person feels about closing the gap, about closing the distance. This reading is really geared towards long-distance relationships who have been separated for some time, and maybe your person hasn't spoken up about moving to you or about you moving there, or meeting in the middle somewhere, whatever it means to you guys to close the gap and close that distance. Maybe they aren't open with you about it, or maybe they're hesitant to talk about it. Maybe they're uncomfortable, maybe they're scared, maybe they're not ready, or maybe they're afraid that you're going to think you're moving too fast. This reading is for helping you decipher that. So we have 4 different piles, and we're going to start here with pile 1, the rose quartz. We have pile 2 with the emerald. Pile 3 with the lepidolite. And pile 4 with the prehnite. I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we'll go with it. Alright, so I will link the timestamps in the description box below. Feel free to skip to your reading. Alright, we are going to start off with my pile 1. So, hello my lovely pile 1s. I want to take a look at these oracle cards first. They're going to help you see if this pile is right for you. We have some energy associated with each of these cards, and when I was pulling cards for these, I was really wanting one to represent you and one to represent your person. I don't really want to say one is you, one is your person. I'll let you decipher which is which, but I do want to go through these energies together. So these archetype cards are new to me, so I do want to read this for you. We have the Liberator first. Helps to liberate us from the self-conflict tyranny of negative thought patterns and beliefs, spiritual sluggishness, poor nutrition, destructive relationships, or addictive behaviors. Invaluable ally in freeing us from old, entrenched beliefs and attitudes. You don't have to be a charismatic leader to have this archetype. Shadow Liberator manifests in corporate, political, religious, and spiritual leaders who impose their own tyranny over others. So I feel like this person might be a little, I don't want to say too controlling, but they might have moments when they're a little overwhelming and controlling towards you in this relationship. I feel like this person probably has some very strong beliefs that are ingrained within them. It could be religious beliefs, it could just be morals and ethics, but they are very passionate about those beliefs. They're very driven, and I feel like they do kind of want others to see those beliefs a lot more than some other people do. Let's see, the Child Divine. Alright. So this is the Child Divine, this is the other person. We have closely related to magical, innocent child, but distinguished by redemptive mission, associated with innocence, purity, and redemption, godlike qualities that suggest a special union with the divine itself. Shadow Divine Child manifests, which this is in reverse, so it would make sense, as an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. So you may be responding to others with fear of being hurt or with a desire to hurt others first. So I feel like automatically there's kind of some unhealthy tendencies in this connection. Now, it doesn't mean it's a doomed relationship or anything like that, but I do see some unhealthy thought patterns, some negative thought patterns between both of you. With respect to this person right here and them being afraid of getting hurt and having this anxiety and kind of being afraid to open up to other people, I feel like this definitely revolves, I mean, I know it says Child Divine, but even in this picture with the guilt, there's a child in the background that's just, it looks like that bottle says vodka, so I mean, it may not be a child, but to me it's a younger person. I feel like maybe this person chooses to do things for other people so that they will love them. They choose to do things for other people because they feel guilty if they don't. And it has a lot to do with their childhood traumas, the way they were raised, the way their parents were or weren't there for them. And I feel like they really live in their lower chakras in these fear mindset, this fear-based mindset where they feel constantly on edge. They feel like I think it's interesting because on the light attribute of this card it says innocence, purity, and redemption, and on the guilt card she is wearing a halo. I feel like you have to mask who you truly are, or this person has to mask who they truly are, and pretend to be this saint for others. I don't know if it's to please their parents or grandparents or whoever their caretakers were. I feel like that's how they raised them, was you do things to please me. You don't worry about anything else. You do what's going to make me happy. And it's kind of heartbreaking a little bit. With this liberator, I feel like they do commit to their work a lot. They do tend to focus more on work than this connection, I feel like. Now, in this card, we have people painting. So your person or you might be an artist of some kind. Maybe it's painting, maybe it's photography, maybe it's drawing, music, poetry, some kind of art that you're into. And that could be a side hustle, or it could be something, that you're working on in your off hours to just kind of build something else up so you can quit your day job and go do something else that you really love. I feel like that might tie into the liberators. They're trying to break out of the stereotypical 9 to 5 and do something that they're more passionate about as well, and they may be spending more time doing that than focusing on this connection. But pile 1, if those cards resonate with you, let's move into your tarot. We really have a lot of cards to go through, but let's see. So, how is your person feeling? These are the bottom. How's your person feeling about closing the gap? I feel like there is some anxiety to closing the gap. Not a lot, though. Here we have strength. I feel like they are building up courage and bravery and trying to kind of wrap some things up in order to feel at peace about closing the gap. I'm being called to really observe this infinity symbol at the top, if you can see it. It's really speaking to me that they have to really tie up some loose ends, because this is something that's going to be very permanent for them. This is something that, for them, there's really no going back. They want this to be a permanent move. They're not looking to move back home or back to family or wherever they are right now. And they're up for this challenge. The Ten of Wands, this is the before tarot. This is before the typical Ten of Wands, when they gather up, the 10 wands and the burdens and the heavy weights and the challenges. I feel like they're preparing to come to you. I don't feel like they're, like I said, I feel like there may be a little bit of anxiety, but I feel like they're pretty ready. They seem ready. They're, again, trying to get things in order so that they can pick up all of their stuff and travel to you. With this Six of Wands, they really want victory. They want to be able to move forward in success. They want to be able to move forward in harmony and peace and happiness. This person really wants this. With the Hanged Man, I feel like they're having to make some sacrifices in order to move this forward, but they're not really hesitant to do so. I mean, with the Ten of Wands, they're just kind of jumping in and they're ready. I mean, they're making sacrifices every single day in order to close the distance, in order to come to you, in order to really build this strength and stability between the two of you, is what I'm hearing. I feel like they've grown a lot as a person too while you guys were together. With the Hanged Man, there's like this new sense of perception. Maybe in the beginning, they didn't really know how it was going to work out. They didn't really understand how they could close the gap. They had so much of their life was where they are now, family, friends, work, you know, things like that were there holding them back, and they were not really planning or ready to let those things go. But now they have this new perception, this clear seeing, this clear knowing, and I feel like they're ready to jump the gun. With the Devil, I am getting some sexual energy, just because of the couple being on top of one another at the bottom of the card. However, I do feel like this points to something else as well. I know the Devil can be about addictions and obsessions, but I feel like they may have to do some difficult things, some things they might not be proud of, in order to gain an upper hand, in order to gain what they need to move to you or meet you in the middle, wherever you got, however you guys end up closing the gap. But I do feel like there's, with all of these little demons in the background, I'm just hearing, it's like someone who has all of these people screaming at them not to go, not to do it, but they're so wrapped up in you that they're going to do it anyway. You're like a guilty pleasure for them. I mean, you're more than that, obviously, because of the cards that are laid out, but the Devil is more primal. But yeah, I feel like there may be a lot of people that are telling them it's a bad idea, telling them not to do it, especially with this snake down here. The snake down here, I see someone who thinks that they know everything about you, about your partner, and about what will happen when you two close the gap, close the distance, and they're trying to tell you that it's definitely not going to work, that maybe this is someone who's had this experience before and it didn't work out for them. But just because it doesn't work out for them doesn't mean it won't work out for you. Not everything is meant to be for everyone, so I feel like there may have been some heartbreak in this connection. There may have been some disagreements that you guys have had, maybe some false beliefs or expectations, and that really hurt this person. I feel like they were expecting something specific from you, or expecting something specific from your connection before they were willing to move forward, and they didn't get it. They didn't get what they wanted. And it's kind of left them hurt, but they're repairing their heart, they're repairing their feelings, they're not necessarily lowering their expectations, but they're getting rid of expectations, right? Because when we place expectations on other people, typically, they're not going to meet those expectations. They often don't know what we want, they often don't know what we expect, because most of the time we don't tend to communicate what we're wanting or expecting in a relationship, and I feel like they're wanting to go in this without really worrying about what's going to happen, without worrying about what you're going to do when you two close the gap or how you're going to take it. They're just more concerned about getting there, about building this love, about filling their cup, about opening up emotionally. Let's take a look at I have some message cards from the Hermit Tarot as well. We have, I left because you told me to. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? I want to get you drunk, and I dream about you a lot, maybe too much. Yeah, I left because you told me to. I mean, maybe that's a disagreement that you guys had, and there was a separation involved at some point. But more strongly, I'm feeling like for most of you, it's probably, you guys have talked about this, you guys have discussed closing the distance, but maybe it's been a while since you've talked about it. Maybe it kind of just fell off the table for a while. Y'all didn't mention it, you didn't talk about it. Maybe it started some arguments when you talked about it. And they may be they may be going to kind of just surprise you and just, you know, bring it to you all at once and be like, I'm ready now, so let's do this. And that might be a little frustrating because you weren't really expecting that, and maybe you're not ready. Just because you were ready at one point doesn't mean you're ready now, right? If I asked you to stay, would you leave? I feel like again, what I just mentioned, these two are really heavily tied together. They are wanting to close the gap. I feel like they haven't been ready for a long time, but now they are, and you still might not be ready. Or maybe you were ready once and you're not anymore. Sorry, there's a fly. We have, I want to get you drunk and I dream about you a lot. I want to get you drunk is right here. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the devil card. So I feel like that card is really representing that they want to make you cave. They want to make you give in to your inhibitions and give into the lusts of life and give into your darker side. Not necessarily like your shadow self or a bad part of you, but just I'm getting more of a sexual energy coming through. And I know that card's not strictly sexual energy, but that is what I'm getting coming through with these two across from one another. And I feel like this is pretty straightforward. They dream about you a lot. They think about you and think about closing the gap a lot. They fantasize about what life will be like when you guys are living together, and when you're waking up next to each other, and when you go to sleep together, and how it will feel, and what they'll think about it, and how you'll feel, and just the amazing things y'all will be able to do once you're cohabitating. We have palm tree, separation, keys on a ring, retreat, and honeymoon. And retreat. I love how I said retreat right here on this other devil card. I think this is funny because I feel like these two right here, when you guys close the gap, they're going to want to lock you in a room and just stay in bed with you all day. I feel like they're not going to want to leave. They want to go through sex 4 days, 4 weeks. I also feel like this honeymoon card is speaking about maybe you had a honeymoon phase in the beginning of this connection, but once you close this gap, that's going to kind of resurface and you're going to have another one of these honeymoon phases. So if you go through this again a second time after you guys have closed the gap, don't worry too much if one of you pulls away a little bit, maybe a month, 3 months in. It's just going to be that honeymoon phase wearing off a little bit because it'll most likely wear off to an extent. With the separation card, I feel like they do miss you a lot. They are, again, they're just ready. They're ready for the stability and the security. Right here we have permanence. They want to close that gap. I feel like this palm tree is really representative of this tree that the Hanged Man is on. It's very stable. It's very holy. It's filling him with knowledge. It's giving him a new perception, but it's also giving him stability. I mean, it's holding his whole body up, right? So I feel like they're ready. They're ready to make this move. They're ready to grow with you and close this separation. I feel like the keys on a ring is talking about how they've processed all their different options, the different ways that they can get to you, the different ways they can stay with you, whether or not you guys are going to live in the same house, whether you're going to have separate places. Are you going to move there? Are they going to move to you? Are you going to meet somewhere in the middle or somewhere completely new? That kind of rhymed and I wasn't planning on it. But yeah, they're really looking forward to it. I feel like, again, there's some nervousness around it, but they're very ready. So I think that's all I have for you, pile one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to this reading. It's been a pleasure as always. If you are interested in a personal reading, I have linked my Etsy shop below. Most of my readings take a day or two to process. I'm not open on Sundays, but I'm pretty quick with getting them out though. So, and if you are wanting something faster, I do have a priority pass for it's 2 hours or less. So, anyway, I'll see you in the next video. All right, hello, my pile twos. This is if you chose the emerald up here. So we are going to start with some identifying cards first. I picked these, I drew these just to help you get a feel for this pile and see if this is really your right pile. This cracks me up the way these cards came out. I remember pulling them a few minutes ago and it blew my mind. So, especially this mediator and impartiality. Now, like I was mentioning to pile 1, this archetype deck is new to me, so I will read these and then kind of mention anything else I'm seeing or noticing about these cards. I want to start with this person right here, with the Child Eternal and the Abundance. So the Child Eternal, determination to remain eternally young in body, mind, and spirit. The shadow side can manifest as an inability to grow up and to accept responsibilities. It can show up in women who are dependent on those who take charge of their physical security, a consistent inability to be relied on and to accept the aging process. I'm hearing kind of like a gold digger. Look for a pattern of resilience and youthful enthusiasm in all things, or perhaps continuing immaturity. But that's really the negative aspect of it that I'm kind of getting that from. But this card did come out upright, so I feel like that might be some people, but for the most part, I feel like most of these people are just going to be full of joy, full of freedom, full of independence, full of youthfulness, people who are very playful and like to see, they like to be very lighthearted and see the brighter side of life. They're very optimistic, very transformative, often changing the way they see things or the way they feel about things. They're always exploring and really just enjoying everything that life has to offer. It's a very beautiful energy. With the Abundance card, I feel like this person, I know there's, money involved in this picture, but more so than that, I feel like this person just has a very abundant mindset. They have a mindset of gratitude. They are very loving, very kind, and very generous with their time, effort, and energy. This is someone who may be in healthcare or something where they just give a lot of themselves in their work. They put a lot of their personal energy into everything that they do. So now for the people who are the shadow attributes, the few that are there, like I said, it does have like a gold digger vibe, and that's probably where this money is coming into play. Is this is someone who is very money oriented, a very money manifesting mindset that they have, and that's kind of their focus in life. So with the mediator, let's take a look at the other person. We have mediator and impartiality. There it is. So for the mediator, it says ambassador, diplomat, and the go-between. They smooth relations between potentially antagonistic groups or individuals. They are gifted with patience and skill, and they are able to read people and situations. The shadow side manifests in ulterior motives or hidden agendas, working both sides of an issue for personal gain. You must have a lifelong commitment to resolving disputes and bringing people together. Maybe a lawyer. I feel like there's more than that, like a lawyer, a counselor, or maybe a philanthropist, or someone who does work in politics to an extent. I do see a lot of counseling involved here, though. With the impartiality card, I feel like this person, regardless of what they do or what their personality is, I feel like they're always trying to see things from everyone's point of view. They want to be fair to everyone, and they want to see what person A thinks about a situation or what their experience was. They want to know what person B went through, or they want to know what person C went through, and that's how they will draw their conclusions. They don't want to listen to person A and be like, oh, person A said it happened this way, and then not believe person B or C when they try to explain what happened from their point of view. So this is someone who is very fair. I do feel kind of like the Justice card coming through. They want peace, and they want balance, and they want fairness between everyone and everything in their life, and I actually have great respect for people like that, so this is a good set of cards. Now, I'm assuming by now you have decided whether this is your pile or not, so we will move into your tarot first. I think this was the pile that had some extra cards that came out. I may be lying. I'm lying. Lots of reversals. I'm going to put these upright just so that I can read them. Because these are also new decks. This is the before tarot and after tarot, and I'm used to standard Rider-Waite, so it's a new fun experience that we're sharing together. So, all right, how does your person feel about closing the gap? I don't feel like they're entirely ready. I think right now this person was possibly, this one right here with the abundance card, they may be focusing more on money and finances a little bit more. And they don't feel like they have their life together, is what I'm hearing. Because this Two of Pentacles right here was in reverse. They're struggling to balance everything in their life. Their money, their love, their friendships, their relationships with their family. It just feels kind of chaotic right now, and like they can't get their footing. Like it's just this big balancing act for them. Everything's up in the air. They're trying to be courageous and brave and handle it the best that they can, but they're struggling. I feel like they don't want to show you that. I feel like they want you to see a different side of them, a more stable side of them, a side of them that isn't faltering, that isn't shaking, a side of them that's strong and independent, but that's just not the reality of their situation right now, unfortunately. And the Chariot was also in reverse, so I feel like they are not closing the gap right now. They're not ready. They don't have what they need. This isn't to say that they don't want to some extent, but they're just not ready. There's still things that they need to get in order. I feel like because their life is so chaotic right now, with this Ten of Cups, they feel like if they were to come in and they were to move forward, it would really just kind of rain on your parade. Instead of having, the standard stereotypical happy Ten of Cups with the rainbow and everyone dancing and smiling and happy and enjoying each other's company, we have the rain. And there are ebbs and flows in connections and relationships. There are ups and downs. There are good times and bad times. And there's bound to be rain at some point, but I feel like they are afraid of this rain at some point when they try to come forward to you, try to close that gap. But yeah, I feel them trying to focus on finances and career right now with this Nine of Pentacles. Money is more important. I don't want to say money is more important than you, because that's not exactly what's coming through. I just mean money is their priority right now. It's their focus right now, because without money, they can't come to you, right? So okay, with this bottom row, we have 3 court cards, right? I do feel like this person loves you very, very much. There's a lot of passion between the two of you, but right now it feels kind of a little, it's like it's fizzled out. So here with this Page of Swords, I feel like somebody has maybe tried to talk to you about something, or someone's tried to talk to your person. One of you has communicated something that you want, something that you need, and this may directly be, hey, I'm ready to close the gap. I'm ready for this distance to be over. Can we do that? And somebody's just not ready. Somebody's stuck. They're stuck on the past, and they've kind of turned their back on this other person that's ready. You see how, even side by side, this Queen of Wands has kind of turned her back on the King of Wands. This King of Wands is facing forward. They're ready for an adventure. They're stable. They're safe. They're confident. They're in their power, and they're ready to move forward. Now, that's not to say that the Queen of Wands is not also in her power and that she's not happy and fulfilled, but see how she's facing the left? She's looking back on the past. She's not looking to the right, not looking forward to the future. She's focused on what you guys have currently and what she has been trying to manifest, things that have already come to pass. She's trying to appreciate those things rather than let's close the gap, let's focus on our future. But with this, see the dove kind of facing the left, bringing this peace in. I feel like the love that this person has, this person that's ready, the love that they have over time, if this person doesn't kind of push this Queen of Wands, that love and that peace is going to flow through this King of Wands into the Queen of Wands. And they're going to be more at peace about that decision, and they're going to face forward, face into the future, look into what you guys can have together, rather than focus on their current life and the things that they have been through, and focus more on union with you. Okay, we have I need more time. We have 10 of Cups twice. I think that's 10 of Cups. You are my everything. I just want space. And love is the answer. So, again, as I was saying earlier, this person definitely needs more time to come forward. I feel like maybe with this Queen of Wands, this is your person. And they're, like I said, they're looking back on the past. Maybe they're trying to process some things that went wrong between you two, some things that made them feel like this isn't going to work if you close the gap. Regardless, they are having to really stabilize their own life right now before they can make that jump to you. With this I just want space, it's in reverse. I feel like that's very representative of them wanting to really decrease the distance between you two, but they're just not ready, right? You mean the world to them. You are everything to them. You are that 10 of Cups energy. It's twice-fold. I mean, like, twofold. Like, right here. I mean, and the Ace of Cups. They love you dearly. They want a life with you. They probably want a family with you if we have two 10 of Cups right here. And they think that your love is going to go the distance. Love is the answer right here. What was I saying about this Ace of Cups? This love and this peace is going to transcend and flow through this King of Wands into the Queen of Wands. That is what's going to answer all their questions. That is what's going to stabilize their life and allow them to move forward. So I think just some patience is really required in this connection specifically. So let's look at some oracle cards. We have Heart with the Key, the Phoenix, and Love. Then we have Release Your Ex, Finances, and Career. Okay, so with the Release Your Ex and this Queen of Wands, processing these past woes, I feel like I don't directly feel like there's enough ex-partner energy in this layout to say their ex is heavily involved in their life. I don't feel that really, but I feel like some things that their ex has done to them has really stuck with them, and maybe it's given them a fear of moving forward in this long distance connection. There may be some stagnant energy that's kind of being held on to, some old habits that they learned from this relationship, or some toxic traits they may have picked up from this person or from the connection they shared with this person. And that might be why they're trying to look into the past right now and kind of process the past, because they're not wanting to bring those toxic traits and those habits into the next stage of your connection, right? And that makes sense right here with the Phoenix too. New phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and changed mind. Like I said, they really want to be a better version of themselves. They want to be a healthier version of themselves and find stability and balance in their life before they come to you. They want to let go of these toxic habits that they formed in this past relationship before they come to you, so that you can have this 10 of Cups, so that you can have this Ace of Cups, and so that love can really be the answer to all of y'all's problems, right? We have Meeting the One, Open Your Heart, Get Together, Perfect, Welcoming, Love, and we have Unconditional Love, Self-Love, Oneness, Passion, Affection, Attraction. This person adores you. I feel like anything that you do, they just kind of fawn over you. I feel like they brag about you a lot to their coworkers and their friends and their family, and they just absolutely adore everything about you, everything you do, everything you're involved in. It's a very, very sweet energy, but what were we saying earlier about they may have some problems with money? We have finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your life right now. Once they get stable with this Nine of Pentacles energy, this out the window. Don't worry about it. I don't even feel like this is a lot of debt or anything. I just feel like they're not making enough. Their salary's not enough. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm in hundreds of thousands of debt from school or something, or a house. I feel like for most of you, this is really just, I need a little bit more money so that I can have a stable home there, and so that I can travel there and send all of my stuff there. So, anyway, Pile 2, thanks for hanging out with me today. That is, I believe, all the information I have to you, for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will say that if you guys want a more personal reading, a private reading, I do offer readings on my Etsy shop. It is linked in the description box below. It usually is a 1 to 2 day turnaround. I am not open on Sundays, but if you're interested, the link's below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. We are going to move into the Lepidolite. So, we are going to start with these identifying cards. I've pulled some oracle cards to see, just to get energies for 2 people so you can kind of determine if this is your pile or not. So, as I've mentioned in the previous groups, the archetype cards are new for me, so I'm going to just read from the little pamphlet. We have the Poet and the Visionary. Let's start with the Poet. Okay. Combines lyricism with sharp insight, finding beauty not only in the epic affairs of humanity, but also in everyday acts and objects. Also expresses wonder at the hidden joys and sorrows that we might otherwise overlook. Shadow Poet turns gift for lyricism to a negative effect, as in songs or poems written in support of evil causes. You don't have to be a published poet to have this as one of your 12 archetypes. Look for a lifelong need and ability to discover beauty in the people and the things around you and express it in a way that helps others see it too. This is someone, they kind of give me vibes from one of the people in group 2, similar vibes, but this person has a very lovely outlook on life. They love life. They love the beauty in life. They love finding beauty and creativity in everything and everywhere they go. There's always inspiration right around the corner for this person. They feel grounded when they create. They feel at ease when they're able to create, whether it's music, art, whatever it is that they're creating, whatever their passion is, whatever their self-expression is. It makes them feel at home. It makes them feel comfortable and really true to themselves and true to nature and true to spirit is what I'm hearing. And I feel like this is someone who really creates peace through their art. Now I want to also read this complacency. Because this is one that I'm not quite sure of and I don't want to steer you wrong. It says, I'm feeling the loss of my dreams. Okay. This is a warning not to give up. Beware of coasting along in a situation that's not what you really want. You will never be fulfilled by unmet dreams of others. So maybe this is someone who is as I just described, but they're at a standstill with their art. They're at a standstill with their passion. Maybe some people have been really ugly towards them and hateful towards them with respect to, their passion, telling them that they need to give up, they need to seek something else, they need to try a different job, or they need to try a different hobby, they're not good at what they do, they're not helping anybody, it's a waste of their time, the waste of their money, a waste of their energy. I feel like this person has been hurt by a lot of people, unfortunately, who are just kind of degrading them and degrading their work, which is really heartbreaking, because it's like they're losing sight of their dreams. They're losing sight of why they even wanted to do these things in the first place. And I feel like this is really coming from a beautiful energy, but these people aren't the people surrounding them are not understanding where they're coming from and why they do what they do. I feel like this person really needs to speak out and stand up for themselves and learn to verbalize why they're expressing their soul the way that they are. Because it's right here, it says express soul insights in symbolic language. This person is literally speaking God's language through art. I mean, there's a lot of people who are not spiritual, who are not going to understand what this person creates. And it's sad. They may channel their art to an extent as well. So, all right. We also have the visionary is the other person with release. Let's take a look at their archetype. I think here's almost the last one. Okay. Dreamer, prophet, and seer. Lets you imagine possibilities that are beyond the scope of your individual life that benefit all of society. Brings into view what could be if certain choices are made, or what is inevitable given choices that have already been made. Shadow visionary manifests as a willingness to sell your prophetic abilities to the highest bidder, or to alter your vision to make it more acceptable. Look for a long-term passion to see beyond obvious or momentary actions to perceive a larger pattern. Wow. I feel like you two are fantastic together because you both seem very spiritual. You both seem to be on a similar frequency, a similar vibration. Not a lot of people can say that, especially about a significant other. I don't feel like this person is as artsy or self-expressive, but I feel like they are heavily in tune with spirit. They are heavily in tune. Whatever they do, maybe they read tarot and oracle cards, maybe they do, divination, or maybe they do Reiki, maybe they have a crystal shop or a metaphysical shop. I feel like they do something in the spiritual realm with respect to their work, or they want to. That may be a desire, a passion for them, right? That's what the booklet was talking about, was their passion. Let's see if we can find release. I lost it because I was still staring at this card. It's just so beautiful. I can no longer keep your secrets. This is about personal responsibility and the release of blame. It is time to clear the debris and move on. You cannot move forward while you continue to hide. Okay, so not to make this about me, but it really hits home. So I've been reading for a couple of years now, but no one in my family or friends circle, nobody in my real life besides my partner knows. And that's a similar vibe that I'm getting here, because so afraid of the guilt, the shame, the blame coming out of, Christianity to into spirituality. People are not going to be very accepting, and I get a very similar vibe from this. Personal inquiry. This indicates healing of family of origin issues. Am I ready to face my past and let it go? Yeah, this person's definitely having some conflicting feelings about, where they've come from. Maybe they're trying to deconstruct their religion right now. Maybe they are on their spiritual path, spiritual journey, and I feel like all of these gravestones are these false beliefs that they had about the world and about spirit and about how energy works and the universe works. And it's hard to let those things go, right? When they have been ingrained in you and instilled in you from birth, from childhood, it is difficult to let things like that go. And I feel like that's what this person is currently going through right now. They're going through this huge spiritual transformation and journey. But it's a very, very beautiful thing. And I'm so happy that you two have each other, because you, regardless of whether this is you or this is you, whoever this visionary is so blessed to have this poet, because this poet speaks their language. It's beautiful, very beautiful energy. Okay. All right, let's move into your tarot. This was the group that had the extra cards, right? Yeah, okay. So there were a couple extras that came out. Let's make sure and get them all on the screen so you can see. Wow. Yeah, right here. Right here in this bottom row, we have that spiritual transformation we were talking about with the Hierophant, 9 of Swords, Death, 9 of Wands. Wow. Okay, so the question is, how do they feel about closing the gap, right? How does that tie in? I feel like they really think fate and the universe brought the two of you together. But I feel like they feel like time's not on their side right now. And they're kind of giving it up to the universe to figure it out. Because they've been in this planning phase. There was a moment where they were ready to come to you, but something set them back. Something... It's like they were... I mean, with this this 3 of Wands, this comes directly before the 4 of Wands, which is a marriage union celebration, right? They were on their way to you. I mean, they had one foot out the door, suitcase in hand, and this Justice card stepped in and said, no, you can't. It's not time. And so it's like they're having to commit. They're having to work a little bit harder at something. And this may be legitimately their career. It may be their finances. Or it may just simply, this may also refer to this 2 of Wands. Maybe they were coming to you without thoroughly planning it out, and that's why Justice stepped in and said, no, this isn't, you can't do it that way. This isn't fair. This isn't right. This isn't just. You need to rethink how you're wanting to go about this. You need to rethink how you're going to get there. And it feels like that's what they're doing right now. They're in this 2 of Wands energy where they're pre-planning to figure out how can they get back into this 3 of Wands energy. But they want that 3 of Wands energy that's going to lead to this 10 of Pentacles, right? They want to be able to come to you, to cross over oceans and miles to get to you, but they want it to look like this. They want it to be that legacy, that long-term love. They want it to be abundant and fruitful. But with this original plan that they had, that they were about to execute, in the process of executing, it wasn't going to lead to this. I feel like it was probably going to lead to something that just wouldn't have worked out. However they were planning on going about this, planning on closing the gap, it wouldn't have been beneficial for you two as a couple. Maybe, the 10 of Pentacles can represent wealth and finances. Maybe if they would have gone about it the way they had initially planned, it would have drained both of your bank accounts. It would have drained you both of your finances, and you two would have been left out on the street. And they had to kind of rethink, reprocess how they could do this in a way that was going to be beneficial for you both financially. Now, again, this is stopping them heavily from coming to you right now. This is their spiritual journey that they're on. And I find it interesting because in this 9 of Wands, normally there's only one person, but there's 2. They have somebody else that's willing to fight with them, to defend them. Someone else that loves them enough, that cares about them enough to help them fight for what they believe in. And I feel like that's you. Your person is so appreciative and thankful that you're there for them, fighting by their side and standing up for what they believe in. Because I feel at home, I feel like their home life is not the best. I feel like they get criticized by family and friends all the time. Maybe that has to do with this relationship, or maybe it has to do with them talking about closing the distance, or maybe it has to do with this spiritual transformation that they're going through. But they get criticized so much about what they truly believe in, what they're passionate about, and what their desires are in life. They're trying to break out of this religious structure right now. They're slaying these dragons, slaying these demons, and having this rebirth of sorts, and learning about who they really are at their core, and where they really come from, and what the universe is all about and how things function, how energy manifests and works. And oh, it's so exciting to see somebody going through this spiritual journey, but it's heavy energy though. It's hard on them. I mean, you see the person, this is the original person in the Nine of Wands. You know, he has a bandage on his head, right? The new person that's come in and helped them, that swooped in to kind of help save the day, they have bandages on their hands and blood on their sleeves. This is not an easy fight for either of you. This is not an easy fight to break out of these old rules and old ways. And I feel like maybe that's part of why this was in reverse. Maybe if they come to you, family's not going to be happy because they didn't do it the right way. They didn't do it the religious way. They didn't do it with structure and with order and with God's consent, kind of. I feel like maybe this is more traditional, like their family's expecting the two of you to get married or to marry someone more traditional. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe this is a same-sex couple, because with the couple that's fighting right here, it's two men, and here in the Hierophant we have two men standing in front of them as well. So, you know, maybe that's something that's kind of blocking this energy too. Whatever it is, their family is not happy about this connection being so non-traditional, or about the way they're coming to you being non-traditional. Maybe initially this Three of Wands plan was to move in together immediately, no marriage, nothing. Maybe they were coming to you or you were going to them, and y'all were just going to cohabitate in you know, one of your houses rather than getting married and buying a house together or whatever, which is, you know, more of the traditional route. They're getting over that. They're slaying those demons. They're slaying those anxieties revolving around those traditions and those rules and that order that their family is trying to impress upon them. And they're moving forward. They're letting those people go and moving on to a bright new sunshiny day. And I feel like they're going to keep doing that until you two are really the only two standing. I feel like you bring a sense of happiness and peace to this person. You see how the original person in the Nine of Wands is in a red tunic. They're trying to gain courage and bravery and strength to keep fighting. You step in on the left in blue and yellow, which represents peace and happiness. And they're just looking at you. They're not focusing on all of these aggressive wands that are coming in to attack them. They're focusing on you. You're giving them this sense of stability too. Okay. Let's take a look at your other messages. Do you think about me too? I feel the same way. I would do anything for you, and sex with you. I feel like sex with you and do you think about me too heavily go together. I feel like this is just, they may fantasize about you or masturbate thinking about you, and maybe that hasn't really been discussed in this connection, or not much. Okay, I know this is very childish, but all I'm seeing is the 6 and the 1 kind of, anyway. So, yes, they want to know if you think about them in that way. Because I feel like they think about you a lot, and that it may just be a form of escape for this person. It may be a way that they escape the stressors of this spiritual transformation, this breakout from this order and tradition. This is the Two of Cups right here. They love you. You know, I feel, again, here, they look up to you, but they truly do have feelings for you. They have a cup that overflows for you. They want to share a life with you. They want to be able to love you unconditionally and give freely to you and have that reciprocated to them as well. And that's what this 10 is about, this I would do anything for you. They really would. I mean, they're fighting their family right now. They're fighting their traditions and the values and morals that they grew up with right now in order to pursue this connection and close the distance. So that's amazing for someone to really love someone so much that they would give up their whole life and their family and their traditions to be with somebody. So if you ever feel like this person doesn't care about you, please refer to this reading because they really, really do. Oh my gosh. Here we go. With religious factors and you deserve love, Cupid's arrow, and heartbroken. Yeah, the Hierophant. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. It's crazy how the cards play out sometimes, I swear. It blows my mind. You deserve love. You are lovable. You have heartbroken, hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Maybe the two of you, this could right here represent a break or a breakup between the two of you, or talks of separating because you feel like the distance is never going to be closed, because you feel like you're never going to be together because of their family and their traditions and their religion. But I feel like we have Cupid's arrow. Have faith. Love is coming. Don't let that get in the way. Do not let it get in the way. The two of you deserve to be loved and to feel loved and to experience a very beautiful connection, because this right here is what, I mean, again, I don't try to make my readings about me, but I'm going through, I mean, my partner and I are not the same religion, so I understand how it is when, you know, you have to close the gap and family's not happy about it because they're one religion and you're another. It's not pretty. It's not pretty trying to merge those two, but if you really love someone, you set it aside and you pursue a life with them anyway. You do what makes you two happy and what makes you two feel loved, and if you're not hurting anybody, why does it matter to everyone else, right? So I feel like we have surprise, invitation, or meeting. They're coming. They're coming. They're just having to kind of recalibrate and figure out how they can do it the right way. And maybe this is your family that is not happy about them coming. It could be that way too. Just kind of flip-flop the roles just to how you see fit, because this is a general reading, right? There's multiple people we're reading for, so for some it could be one way, and others it could be another. But regardless, Pile 3, thank you so much for sticking around. It's been a pleasure. This was a beautiful reading, and I'm so happy that you have trusted me to read the cards for you today. If you're interested in a private reading, I do offer those on my Etsy shop, and I have linked it in the description box below. So, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until then. Alright, last but not least, my beautiful Pile 4s. The Prehnite. I'm not quite sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what we're going with. Alright, so we're going to start with some oracle cards, archetype and chakra cards to get a feel for you and your person, just to see if this is your correct pile. I feel like this one's probably not going to get a lot of attention. For some reason, I feel like this is a very specific pile to very specific people, to few people, but I could be wrong. We'll see how it plays out. Alright. For one person, we have Bully and Faith, and we are going to take a look at the Bully first. Should be evaluated by far more than whether you bully people. Symbolically, we bully our spirits into backing down from challenges. Beneath the bully lurks the coward, which the bully masks. Shadow bully always gives into fear by lashing out. Honestly assess whether you have a lifelong pattern of bullying others to cover your own fear. It says, highlights your tendency to intimidate other people, helping you confront the inner fears that bully you. Shadow attribute says conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. So this person may have been someone who was verbally and physically abused in their childhood, someone whose parents or caregivers were really mean and hurtful to them as a child. They did ugly things to them, said ugly things to them, and tried to hurt them, and it really left them very scarred. Because when you're with your parents or your caretakers, you're vulnerable, right? You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be open to love. You're innocent. You are just really loving people unconditionally at that point, because you haven't been hurt by the world, and you don't know any better, right? And so they're taking all of this negative energy in, and it's just leaving so many scars in their heart. And I feel like they grew up to be like whoever this was that was harmful to them. Maybe not exactly like them, but I feel like that's probably why they try to intimidate other people and try to have this tough outer shell and this facade where they pretend to be all, big and bad. Like, this card has someone blowing, like, it looks like clouds, blowing wind, and it reminds me of the wolf from the Three Little Pigs, right? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. It's kind of the vibe that I get from this person. So we also have faith. So let's take a look at faith. I'll write that. I am more than I think I am. What frightens you is something much smaller than you know. If you are experiencing pain, holding on tighter will only worsen the situation. Your greatness awaits. I have a tremendous amount of personal magnetism, and I am willing to allow myself to shine. So I feel like a lot of this has to do with this person being so afraid of who they truly are, because who they were in their childhood, who they tried to be, was shoved so far deep down inside of them through all of the hate, all of the abuse, that they were never really allowed to be themselves. They were never allowed to let themselves shine. And it's like like I was saying earlier, they have this tough exterior, this tough outer shell, these scales that are surrounding them, that are hiding their inner beauty. But I feel like in this connection, you are someone that gives them faith, someone that they feel like they can let their guard down with, someone that they feel like they can let little pieces of their true self come through and shine through. Now with that's if that's your person. If not, it could be, how you feel too. With the networker and perception, the networker says enhances unity through sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy, can convey information only for personal gain or spread fear and falsehood. This could be somebody who's involved in journalism or social media, maybe like managing social media accounts, or someone who does newsletters, blogging. I feel like it's someone who probably works from home and works online a lot. Someone to get a message out. Yeah, see, we have a journalist. We have messenger, herald, courier, journalist, and communicator. They expand the sphere of influence by forging alliances and making connections among vastly different groups of people. They help develop social flexibility and empathy that seeks commonality with those who might not seem to be potential friends or allies. Messenger and communicator have skills to disseminate information and power. The shadow networker merely uses connections with others for personal gain. Look for a continuing pattern of forging links with others to deliver vital information and ideas. I feel like even with the perception card, this person, through the information that this person spreads, they change the way other people see the world. They are constantly transforming people's thoughts, people's minds, people's souls, and helping them level up, in a sense, helping them transform, transcend, and become a different but a better version of themselves. That's what these butterflies are all about, right? This person, I feel like right now they feel on top of the world. They love what they do. Even the bad days, they still love the bad days. They share a lot of empathy with other people, and that's how they communicate best, is through empathy. That heart chakra, that love, forgiveness, the understanding that they have for other people. I feel like they see a light in people. They see a light in others that most people don't see. They see value in people that most people don't see. Alright, so if you feel like that is you and your partner, and that is y'all's energy. Let's move into your tarot. Okay, we have the World, Nine of Swords, Three of Cups, the Hermit, Ace of Cups. You guys got some extra cards. The Magician, Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So the question is, how does your person feel about closing the gap? With this World card, I feel like that's all they want. They want to just disappear, fall off the radar, and be enveloped by you. They want to spend every waking moment with you. I feel like they lie awake at night stressing over this connection, about closing the gap. Because it's something that they want, but something they haven't been able to accomplish. This Three of Cups, this is the before tarot, so the traditional Three of Cups is a group of women that are celebrating, right? This is before the celebration. They're wanting this. They're wanting to have this fruitful, fun union and celebration, but something's stopping them. We have the Hermit and the Ace of Cups. Life has taken them on a journey right now. This Hermit is really telling me that God has kind of called them elsewhere. Spirit has called them elsewhere at the moment. There's something they have to heal within themselves first before they can come to you, before they can provide you the love that you need and deserve, the love that they really want to give to you. There's something that they have to fix within themselves, and I feel like right now they're trying to dive deep within to really help mend their wounds at the moment. You guys may be in separation. I don't think that's going to resonate for everybody, but some of you, I feel like you are, and that's probably why that Hermit card is there. They're feeling lonely and isolated, but it's time that they have to take away. Time that Spirit is guiding them to take away. With the Magician here, I feel like they're gathering up everything that they need to come to you. They're preparing. They're trying to actively manifest it. No, I'm sorry. They have everything that they need. They have everything that they need. So why aren't they moving forward? Yeah, they're in this period of rest. So something about the way they tried to gain the resources they needed to get to you, to close the gap. However they went through this process, this manifestation, it drained them. It left them feeling exhausted, it left them feeling restless, it left them feeling stressed financially, like they were giving everything up. Excuse me. Like they were on death's door. They were scared of failure, scared that this was the end. Oh, okay. So, maybe within gaining what they needed to come to you, that's when this break happened. And they started trying to cling on to you. They started trying to cling on to everything that they had gained, everything that they had ready to close the distance, whether it was finances, whether they picked out a place to live, whatever. They were clinging on to the hope that really revolved around coming to you. But they're taking this time out right now. They're having to take this time out, regardless of who forced this break or this extra distance. They're not happy about it. But they're taking this time to really dive deep and figure out what they truly want, how they want to approach you, what kind of life they want with you, when you guys close the gap. I think that they do want to close the gap. It's not that they don't, but they're distracted during some kind of break right now. So I don't really see them moving forward right now. With this Nine of Cups, I feel like after they have left this period of rest, this break, if you guys are in like a temporary separation or something, once you come out of that, I feel like they are going to give you something. They're going to spoil you with something. There's something they're going to bring to you, something that's going to make you feel fulfilled, something that's going to make you happy and feel at peace. Now, it's not going to be them closing the gap, but it's going to be something that makes you feel happy and that makes you feel at peace about closing the gap. Something that it may be a next step that you guys have to take before closing the distance. Does that make sense? Let's go through your messages. We have reach out. I hope you'll wait for me, yes. The Ace of Wands. And I'm ready in reverse. They are not ready. Yeah, they're still cooking in the oven. They are... This Four of Wands is... Four Swords is them resting before embarking on a journey. They're trying to gain energy, trying to restore everything that was lost. All of the energy, all of their reserves before they can move forward. And I think that they know this is going to take some time. I think that they know that it's going to be longer than what they're wanting and longer than what you're wanting, which is why this Four of Pentacles is so scary to them. I feel like they feel so exhausted and worn down before they took this break. But yes, they're still preparing. With the reach out, I feel like if you guys are in separation, I don't think that it would necessarily hurt to try to communicate with this person in small bites, right? I wouldn't send a long narrative about how much you love them or how much you miss them and what all you've been doing since they've been gone and how you really want to reconnect or whatever. If you guys are in separation, maybe just, hey, I miss you, hope you're doing well. Something short, something sweet, something that's not going to really overwhelm this person because they're deep in thought right now. They're resting, but they're still deep in thought. We also have true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And we have trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. We also have paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And we have engagement ring, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. Wow. They do have deep feelings for you. I feel like I hope you'll wait for me and trust tying together. They know that this situation you guys are in right now is not very appealing and it's not ideal for either of you, but again, they're being forced to take this time out, and they're really hoping that you will trust in the timing and that you will trust in the divine and that you will trust in this person to get everything together so that they can close the gap, and that that you will wait for them. And that doesn't mean you have to. I mean, that's totally your choice, but they do want you to wait. And with the engagement ring, I feel like this person, I'm seeing that they literally have a ring picked out for you already. They know what they want, or maybe they have stuff for their wedding, for y'all's wedding picked out. There's something about getting married or getting engaged that they've already made a decision on, but other than the fact that they want you, clearly. But I see somebody already having a ring picked out. I don't feel like they've purchased it though with this Four of Wands, so. But they know what you deserve. So, anyway, Pile 4, it's been a pleasure reading for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you guys would like a personal reading, a private reading, I do offer those on my Etsy shop. it is linked below in the description box. It's normally get them done within a day or two. I am closed on Sundays though, so try to be patient if you place it on a Saturday or on a Sunday, but I hope to see you guys soon.